I love what Sheikh Musa said the other day when the president gave 2 weeks ultimatum for in the Minister of Education to ensure things go on right. Now, he simply said the bottom line is funding. Let there be proper funding and the welfare of the ASU themselves. When these things are properly done, the right funding in place, let's have a sensitive and selfless leadership. Education is very, very vital. You see, we have more crimes perpetrated because the youth are not busy. One of the ways to get uh, all this kind of vices reduced is to get people very busy. Now, when one is not, they used to say, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. We must, as a matter of priority, invest in education. That helps a whole lot. Insecurity, what other vices are tied to lack of knowledge. When people know this is their country, they won't go begin to bomb it. When they have stake in the nation, they know that they have a future in it. They will guide it. In 1994, I was in Kingston, Jamaica. And one of the first things you will find on the billboard there is, we are not just in Jamaica, we are for Jamaica. That patriotic act of being a Nigerian and looking forward to seeing how your life can be bettered right in Nigeria will give us a new paradigm, way of thinking, way of reasoning can be shaped by enlightenment. So children are home, things are not working, and we're asking and saying that the future belongs to the youth that are redundant, youth that have not been able to complete their education. What you're supposed to be for 4 years is, lingering to 5, 6, 7. Parents are overwhelmed and what have you. So it's important to have selfless and sensitive leadership that can be accountable. Now, it's a matter of saying what is happening there. If budgets have been allotted to that, what's happening to the implementation of the budgeting? Now, ASU doesn't just want to be on strike. It's not like they delight, they take pleasure. It doesn't catch their fancy. Look out for what their welfare is. Answer to what they are requesting. And this will go a long way by solving it. If not, you see, a whole lot will just be unveiling and unveiling and unveiling. And the more these things go, the more trouble we've got for this country. So we must be sensitive as leaders and selfless and hold people accountable for their you see, it's one thing to have responsibilities, another thing to have accountability. But when you want to occupy an office and you don't want to be accountable, then that's where the problem lies. ASU's matter can be solved within 1 week if proper attention is allotted to them.
I'm going to stay with you because you mentioned that we need to fund, the issue lies with funding and we need to fund education. If your party were to win the 2023 election, you will become the vice president, and that means that you oversee the economy. And you've talked about funding. The federal government has said, look, we are broke. Nigeria doesn't have the money. Where would you find the money to resolve all of these challenges in the education sector?
The loopholes that siphons the money. Where there is no accountability, anything can go wrong. I've told you about capital flight. I've told you about training people enough to have what we call social skill. That way we are retaining our wealth in Nigeria. So when these loopholes are blocked, we can have enough. What is enough? How much is enough? We are able to, when we begin to have what we call capital build, we begin to build our infrastructures and begin to generate what we need, produce what you need, and then have a larger capacity for it and the capability for it, you now discover that the wastages, like I did mention to you, what this is going to do when we now balance the productivity and production, then it's going to generate a kind of, we will secure our time. There will be no time wastage, energy wastage, and resources will not be wasted. So these are the things that we have in mind to do. How do we block wastages? By making people accountable, then by helping people to understand that this is our country and we don't have any other one Other than this, when people are built up through what I call this social skill, it will help us retain wealth. The key to it is, how do we retain our wealth? How do we look inwardly and not to overflow the oil? Let's now begin to look into diversification, like they have been saying, into agriculture, human capital development. These are the things that will culminate into the wealth of any nation today.